for Sonic Frontiers. They had a nice interview about making the game, and I thought, you know what, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. So they talk a bit about Jet Set here. Get the making of. They have like a bunch of these making ofs, and I think let's go look at the Sonic Frontiers one, because I feel like this one matters to us especially the most. So Sonic Frontiers. So please tell us about your enthusiasm when you became a development member for Sonic Frontiers. So our top priority was to make a Sonic title that could once again compete in the world stage, and we aimed to raise the quality in order to transform it into a completely new third-gen Sonic game. We had experience with a global title with Tokyo Toy Olympic Games, but there was a sense of anticipation. We took on a new open world title. Interesting. So, that's one way to see it. I have been involved, and this is, by the way, when they say third gen, they've talked about this openly, is that they consider, you know, adventure formula, they consider boost formula, and now they have this formula. So yeah, this guy got shadow behind him. I have been involved in Sonic titles for many years. This is Takahashi. So I've experienced in game development from a global perspective, but this is my first time releasing on multiple platforms and simultaneously worldwide. The challenge of creating an open world is a daunting project. I had a hunch, having said that, but we've always tried new things, so I thought we could try. We could do it this time if we all work together. That's good. Was it the first global release? I didn't think so. I thought Sonic games mostly pulled up. Yeah, classic adventure, boost, and OG. Yeah, that's what it was. Then we got Mitsuishi. I joined the company mid-career and soon joined Sonic Frontiers, so I had less experience with Sonic than the people around me, so I started by trying to understand what Sonic was aiming for. In addition, I was a little worried about whether I'd be able to complete the project due to the huge challenge of open zone. See, he says it right. These other two say open world. How dare they? It is open zone. Still, there are many people who have been involved with Sonic for a long time, so it's an easy environment to work in. So let's talk about this. Here we go. So please tell us about the member composition of each role. So plain, when I first joined, I was responsible for the course design, level design as a planner, but my areas of responsibility gradually increased, and eventually I became a sub-lead planner responsible for checking the quality of members and also all the action parts of the game. Was doing development team and had a max of 20 planners and max of 120 devs. They had 120 devs on the game, which I don't even think is that much, you know, and it kind of shows you how miraculous it is that they made this game, because 120 people in development is not as much as you would think. For comparison, Mario Odyssey is about 340 people. For a AAA game, this is not that much. To be fair though, Pokemon actually has like 100 people. SA1 had like 300 people. So kind of insane to see the roles here. So what did Takahashi do for this game? As a background designer, I'm mainly responsible for creating objects for the mystery solving content of Open Zone. At the same time, I was the sub leader of background design, up to 25 people organizing the organization. So this dude created all the objects and mystery solving. Okay, so Takahashi worked on all the puzzles. The programmers and Mitsuishi, the programmers were divided into several teams based on play within the game. That was the team leader of puzzle-solving content of the open zone. The number of programmers on the team varied to 4 to 7 depending on the time. God, this is so, like, not enough. And it's really good insight into the game of just knowing, like, damn, how barely close they really made it to the finish line, right? Is Sonic Frontiers considered a AAA title? I would consider it AA. I think it's a AA title for sure. There's apparently a lot of new people who joined Sonic Team from Frontiers who, when Frontiers was made, so they had to adapt quickly with the franchise. That was on less. Well, we'll talk about that. So, how did the development of Open Zone, which is different from conventional action stage, proceed? So this is we gotta read all the damn. Good thing I'm recording this. The biggest challenge was it was difficult to grasp the overall picture of the Open Zone, and the challenge was how to create and play within it. It's an action game, so you won't know it's fun until you actually try it. Kept in mind how I could play like Sonic, and I kept repeating the work of implementing and checking ideas. Because yeah, it is really difficult to make an action game that's open world in Sonic style, right? And we always said that, but I think to me Sonic is what makes an open world interesting because of just how fast you can go from point A to point B, right? Last AAA Sonic was unleashed. Yeah, Crack Coke Sonic, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. This project has taken about 5 years in total. So it took they worked on this for 5 years, which makes sense. I think that means that would mean they started right when Frontiers finished. Ghost of Mr. Sanders, thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, you're still dead. For the first year, we worked with a small group of people to finalize the specifications, and during that time, I was working on another project. And by the time I came back, the prototype we had created was still quite satisfactory, both in terms of graphics and playability. It wasn't. In the project, we are using an in-house game called the Hedgehog Engine that specializes in Sonic's gameplay, but development of this is also progressing at the same time. And we are working on creation of Open Zone. We continue to add necessary features one after the other. The team was filled with a sense of crisis. We have to create something new. If we fail here, there will be no chance, man. That's crazy. That's actually insane. Did I'm in Forces? I'm in Forces. Sorry, back then. For it's been 5 years since Forces. That's crazy though. That line scares me, bro. It was really down to the wire, bro. It was really down to the wire on making this, and that like when I read that to that this morning, I had like a pin in my stomach. I was like, oh no, that's so, I feel like that's so scary to think of. Like, if Frontiers wasn't it, we just would have been cooked as a franchise. I was like, oh man, that didn't leave me with a sense of trust. Like, that scares me, man. Even like development wise, I mean, imagine like you're a development team and you're like, hey, it's kind of like when you know if you don't pass the final exam, you're gonna fail the class and you gotta restart, right? It's like, it's that pin in your stomach, and I can only imagine with game development how scary that is. We were so good, shut up, Nathan. But yeah, no, that explains why they went so crazy with the promotion, right? At first, the main focus of Open Zone was solving puzzles, but we implemented the specification to the planner had put forth and thought, wouldn't it be more fun to do something like this? Then we looked at the reactions. However, I rebuilt it quite a bit, and the prototyping stage, there were cases in which there were no specifications, so programmers created prototypes and proposed them to planners. In some cases, they're actually adopted and implemented as gimmicks. Interesting. I'd have loved to see what was a gimmick and what wasn't. I feel like, I mean, we know combat was inspired by Sonic movie, and so I wonder how late into the game maybe combat was a thought for the game. As much as I don't like Frontiers, I'm still glad to succeed. We can get more games. Yeah, I mean, I always say this, regardless of how you feel about Sonic Frontiers, you can tell it's a game that wanted to do something cool, right? No matter how you feel about it, you can tell if you understand games in general, or even like anything, it's like you can tell it's a game they wanted to thrive. You could tell it's a game they wanted to see succeed. They wanted to work on. They were ready, you know. And you can tell from as built together as that is, like as how many times sometimes you could see the cracks. You're like, this is awesome. There's something here that's so good, you know. After going through the prototype stage, the Open Zone Island, which began work on. Wait, what was the question here? No, it's fine. Which began working in earnest as a service area more than 3 times that of... Wait, what? At the going to the prototype stage, the Open Zone Island, which began work in earnest as a service area more than 3 times of Kronos Island. First on Sonic Horizon at work, it is equipped with many mystery-solving gimmicks. It was something like that. For example, the rotation statue at the beginning of the game is one of them. Although it was a new attempt for Sonic's area, it lacked a sense of speed, and we end up thinking, this isn't a Sonic game. Interesting. So, originally, the prototype for Kronos was 3 times bigger than what it was. Interesting. Beta Kronos, right, which we've seen before, right? Because originally, correct me if I'm wrong, there wasn't going to be multiple islands, right? It was going to be like one mega island. And I think it was a later thought to add that. I think it was going to be one big open world, which I still think it's smart that they didn't do that, because I could not imagine running around only Kronos environment for 20 plus hours. Right? It's in the interview. The essence of Sonic is action, but everyone was too focused on the word mystery solving. A young programmer who had been with the company for 3 years suggested a gimmick called Grind Rail Generator, and I feel like this thing started to take off all at once. So having fun moving through the open zone, we also made a major correction in directional level design that leads to puzzle solving and battles, and added Sonic-like mechanics to create the final version. And I guess the Grind Rail Generator would be that mechanic where the more things you did, the more grind rails would appear, and I guess, you know, the open world would open up more. But that's clever as because you can tell too, the more you think about it, right, that puzzle solving statue that you do in the beginning of the game, right, there's like 2 of those on Kronos. It's literally that one. There's like one that you build up to put a wire to get to one of the cyberspace levels, and then there's like the big one that for you to get to Giganto. And you can tell actually it's emphasized the most in Chronos, because you don't have any light moving puzzles on what's the second island called, the desert one, and Chaos Island doesn't have any. Yeah, there's one on Uranus. Yeah, Ares. There's none on Ares. There's none on Chaos, and there's one on Uranus. So you can tell the idea was kind of scrapped, but they kept remnants of it, which is kind of cool, right? They were finding what they were doing, and I guess they probably just kept it in to be like, well, we already have this, right? The rail generator puzzle was the only used once in Chronos, but Beta Chronos did way cool stuff with it. Yeah, that's true. At the same time, there were many opinions that the island was boring because it had a large similar landscape, which I remember, if you guys remember this, when people leaked the game forever ago and were telling us that they playtested, they were saying it was boring. So we decided to review the background design from the concept and major overhaul. Unlike the action stage, we had to make it look natural, even when viewed from a 360 degree. Also, we put a lot of effort into expressing the weather and changes over time, which happens. The world of Sonic Frontier is also so close to the world that it feels a little strange. While pursuing realism, we had a hard time adding originality that is unique to games such as locations that never got bored and exciting points. This is Sonic's team's first attempt to create a specialized team such as the Ruins team, the Rock team, and the Planet team to pursue and create environments entirely, which, again, remember, it was intentionally a choice for them to go with the realistic environments, because the whole point of Frontiers was to be like, these characters are not in their comfort zone. They're in like a weird, mysterious area. I do want game 2 to fully be like, okay, now they're not in a mysterious area. Right now we are in Sonic locations that are open world, right? Like imagine a place like, I don't know, Stardust Speedway in Sonic styled open zone. That would be so raw, right? Or something like a Studiopolis in an open zone, or just something like Dream Team even, right? Just bring me something crazy in that. Hear me out. Yeah. Hear me out. Green Hill Zone. Yeah, exactly. Let's see what's next part. Were there any difficulties in producing a global title, such as the different reactions to overseas Japan? This is interesting. There were many cases where we wanted to promote in Japan, what we wanted to promote overseas were different. Japan, the main visual was purposely made to be serious in order to promote a unique worldview for Sonic Frontiers, but North America desired for a classic visual similar to Sonic's previous ones. Interesting. So, the environments were designed for more Japanese appeal, whereas like for the interesting, I didn't even realize that. I guess in Japan they really wanted Sonic to be taken seriously. You know what you're right, it's time to grow up. Yeah, Emerald, exactly. Interesting. What was JP thinking? I'm telling you, man, Japan was a big question mark, hence the box art on the JP version. What's the box art on the JP version again? Hold on. Sonic Frontiers JP box art. Which one? Oh, you're right. It was this one. Yeah, which is very emphasized. You're right. That actually is a very good point. That is actually a really good point. Several times during development, we conducted user playtests in North America where we asked people to close to the users to actually play the game and check their reactions. But there were countless times where we had to rework the game depending on the user's reaction. There were so many. We've done playtesting before. This is the first time we've taken an approach of making improvements through repeated playtesting, which, again, just mental checkboxes, because like I said, this game was leaked for years. Like in 2019, there were like 4chan posts saying, hey, I got to play this open world Sonic game. You collect these keys. There's a foggy area. Once you get all the emeralds, you go to these action stages that are like the old levels, and your Sonic Rangers. Like, people had very clearly play tested this so early on, and it's really fascinating to think about. I can't believe that. I watched the reaction from overseas players in the real time and immediately discussed it with the director to make improvements. In overseas playtests, the scores came back quite severely. You can also watch gameplay videos at the same time, so you can see that it probably won't be fun as this goes this way. So you improve that part, your playtest score will definitely go up 6 points, becoming 8. So interesting. So playtesters have a point system internally to see how high the score goes over and over as they play this. Okay. We're learning a lot. Even when playtest scores were low, the entire team worked with enthusiasm, thinking Sonic may have been okay up until now. Let's reach a higher level of fun. Basically, my role is to judge whether the prototypes that have been submitted are playing like Sonic. Sonic is a platform action game, so the first requirement is for it to be a fun game where you can run, jump, and move around. When playtest scores were low, we took into account comments and feedback and took measures to the perfect zone gameplay. When the playtest scores from overseas users finally rose from 8 or 9, there was a feeling of writing, damn, we can do this. Awesome. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. That makes me happy. You know, they were the cheers of the franchise, hopefully. And again, like, you think about this line, and this is so cool how much they really wanted this to succeed, bro. And I think you can tell this is a team that very uniquely is trusting the fans with this franchise, right? Like, there is no team, especially with Kishimoto, how much feedback he was taking in and directly adding that to the game and the DLCs. Like, this is a team that just wants the fans, you know, to really help them out and let them know what they really want. And that's, I have no doubt the next game is going to be crazy. With more money and knowing what they know, what Kishimoto knows, I'm expecting a new Sonic character model. I'm expecting crazier animations. I'm expecting more cinematics. I'm like expecting a lot. I can't even lie to you and tell you I'm not expecting a lot. Like, I really do feel they are going to go crazy with the next game. No joke. Please tell us your impressions after completing the project. Let's see. Oh, would they like to try in the future? Let's see. Sonic Frontier goes beyond the traditional Sonic stage clearing format to become a game of even more freedom, allowing you to enjoy the action 360 degrees in open zone. There's a lot of pressure to deliver quality that would live up to the company's banner, but thanks to everyone's support, we were able to move forward. This is my first time participating in the development of Sonic, and I ended up being involved in all action aspects as a leader, which allowed me to deepen my understanding of the framework and structure of action games. I would like to use this knowledge gained here to further evolve the play in the reborn third generation of Sonic and develop games that can be enjoyed by as many people as possible. Okay, so just typical answer. They wanna up the things. They just wanna make it better. We had a hard time creating an original world view, but this is actually, I mean, I guess the reborn third generation of Sonic, which, I mean, I think that could be just implying that this is their third gen, or like making it even crazier. We had a hard time creating a world view such as the ruins, but for now we're able to create a Sonic world view. For this project, we focus on organizing an organization that would work together to create a unified entity, whereas up until now, we had relied on individual skills. I believe that having young members develop their individual ideas and strength and challenge areas where they are weak, we have been able to raise the level of their skills in the field, which I think is good. We've heard a lot about Japan now hiring a lot of younger people, and I think that's really helping them a lot. I mean, you've seen this especially at Nintendo. Their big MO for the Switch has been hiring new people to work on stuff, and I think Odyssey was almost all new people, and even you think of a game like Super Mario Wonder, where it was like just new ideas, new people. Hey, you guys are new here, tell me what you guys want. You're the new gen. The walls around the world are thick, and I don't think we can say we have joined the AAA group yet, so I would like to continue pursuing graphic design that is worthy of being on par with AAA. Big W, big W, big W right there. That's massive. That's massive. And I'm telling you guys, this is where we're leading up to. I really think next game is going to be a AAA game. 100%. 100%, man. AAA game we're about to get. Big W, big W. This makes me happy. This makes my heart go pitter patter, you know? I did the next time you have more than $3 in the budget. Exactly, bro. I'm telling you, they are gonna go crazy on the next game. Sonic is actually back, bro. Open zone with a AAA level quality. Immaculate. Please, please, please give that to me on God. Shadow Gent is going to be really fun. I don't know. See, I don't know if Shadow Gent is going to be... I think what you can see from Shadow Gens is just production value, right? With the cinematic of him, you know, sliding on the eternal doors and how the areas look. I think that's going to give us a tease. It's not going to give us the whole meal because it still looks linear. But regardless, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what they do. With Sonic Frontiers, we were able to show the potential of the third generation of Sonic. This was my first open world challenge with Sonic Town, and it was also my first experience as a team leader of a certain size. But it was a scene in which the entire team strived to create something that was Sonic-like and made it fun. It was very inspiring to be there. It was also great to be able to experience implementation related to story progression in the overall game. In the future, I would like to greedily spread the word and take on the challenge of developing a game that spreads this. Okay, good. Let's see, Milo. I honestly think the next game will be Frontiers 2. Take everything that Frontiers did, make it 10 times better. Considering Frontiers was the game that saved the franchise, there's no way a Frontiers sequel is possible. I agree. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Sega doesn't do numbered sequels. They haven't really done that since what? Not S8. I guess advanced games, maybe? I would say the advanced games, probably. Well, Sonic 4 Episode 2. No, I think well, advanced came after. SA2. So it would probably be the advanced game. Well, Sonic 4, yeah, Sonic 4 did have an episode 2, which is true. But a spiritual successor, I would like if it's not called Sonic Frontiers. I think the title of Sonic Frontiers, I don't know. I would like a cooler new title, even though Sonic Frontiers is really cool. Sonic Frontiers, exactly. It tells about the unique appeal of Sega and your message to applicants. Here we go. In this project, the level composition of Open Zone was centered on young people who had been with the company for less than 5 years. I think one of Sega's strengths is that it's all well-established environment in which young people can take on various challenges with experienced seniors around them. Good. Good. The new blood involved is very, very important. We're talking about people that have grown up with the internet, talking about people that understand these things, and we always talk about how these higher-ups and older people have experience, but they not just might be in tune with what people like and want anymore, right? And so I don't even think it's I don't think it's a slap in the face to the older people. I just think it's important to have younger people on board to understand, you know, how games are enjoyed nowadays, right? I was involved in the development of our own game engine, Hedgehog Engine, as a contact point for the designers. And one of Sega's strengths is the ability to directly communicate requests from feedback and designs to help them come up with an easy-to-use engine. We could take on challenges because we had the technology. Additionally, Sega has a culture in which superiors work with employees to think about how they can do what they want to. There are cases where people have switched from the background production to character production. I don't think there are many companies in the industry where you can change your career. So, interesting. So, they're also internally willing to let people on certain jobs and tasks work on other tasks, which I think is really cool. I think that's a really cool concept, because just because someone, you know, is an environmental artist on the team doesn't mean they might not have really good ideas to work on character design or some action, or at least give them ideas. So I think that's a really cool idea, to let the team just work together collaboratively, regardless of what your role is. It is possible to implement a wide variety of things, such as a stage action, player action, enemies UI, and also deployed on various platforms. So you will have the opportunity to experience. Thank you, Lumi, for the sub. What's going on? We can tune and optimize ourselves to suit the characteristics of the title. It's easier to get people to listen to you when you tell them what you want to do. So I think Sega is a great environment to improve your skills, whether you're someone who wants to pursue something or someone who is broadly interested in game development. So yeah, there we go. That's the Sonic Frontier interview. So overall, what? These guys are dope. I think Sega, we know they have a new office. We know they have high ambitions. We know they are working hard. We know the next game is going to be AAA status. And we got a lot of insight on the development of Sonic Frontiers. And overall, man, the future is bright, man. The future is bright. That's all I can say. I know it's easy to be doom and gloom. Sonic team doesn't know how to do this and that. And I think they were in shambles for a long time. And like I said, Sonic Frontiers could have ruined everything for this company. I mean, if this game was bad, I'm telling you, we would have started getting maybe... You would have gotten Sonic Superstars, and then Dream Team maybe would have gotten like a smaller scale game after. Like, I think, to me, no, you know what would have happened? If Sonic Frontiers flopped, I think they would have pressed the emergency button and gone to Adventure Remix right away. I think that's what would have happened 1000%. They would have been like, you know what? Go back, emergency button. So I'm really happy to see that they took a new direction and they're willing to be like, let's cook. And once again, I've said this before, right? And we all know it, right? Because it's been a long time. But One Way Dream continues to be one of the best songs in the game, just for what it means for the team. The fact that it's about the dev team is immaculate, bro. Stop us, we'll keep pushing through. Love it, bro. Challenges that there's our way makes us even stronger today. This is how we ignite. Love it. Sonic Frontiers might deadass be the biggest and most important title in the franchise since Adventure. I 1000% agree with you. I've said this before. Sonic Frontiers is someone today's Sonic Adventure. I don't think any Sonic game in the last 10, 15 years even has come close to that. I really think in the same way that we grew up with Adventure, because when we go back and we've played Adventure 1 and 2, they're flawed, right? They are very ambitious, they are beloved, they're really cool, but they're flawed for sure. And I think this game is very similar in that sense, where in 10 plus years, right, when those young people that played the game, they're gonna go back and be like, that was my childhood and that was raw. Like, that was Sonic at his peak. But obviously, hopefully, we're gonna get better games as we go on. But this game, no matter what, it brought energy from the supersonic fights that were raw, from the music to the ambition to the fun gameplay to the action. Like, it just made Sonic cool again, and that's all that matters. And that they're taking the franchise serious again makes me happy, bro. Love to see it.